It's the blue tractor and baler's turn for service. And of all the weird things to wear, the prop rod, I don't know if you can tell what's prop rod or not, but anyway, is held up when the hood's up by that little bolt or stud with a nut on it. I don't know if you can see, it's worn through about halfway. All that does is sit there when it's closed and vibrate, and it's vibrated its way through that bolt that much. Kind of thought that was interesting. I guess 9,000 hours of vibrating will work most of the way through a probably 3/8 bolt. So it's raking day, as you can see. Unraked, raked. Brandy's taking second shift raking, so took the opportunity to hit the high ground, but it's all nice and dry. To prime the baler, the first bale or two are not awesome, and basically just make sure the baler works, because it kind of stinks to work on it at 3 or 4 in the morning when you're out trying to get the hay baled. But yeah, everything tied awesome. Built up to my where I can go automatic car symbol versus manual as a hand symbol. Kind of funny chrome controls, but pressures are all nice. The one on the ground over there is misshapen. The one in the, but fairly tight looking. The one in the baler currently is fine, and I think the one on here, we can ask the machine. I thought we could ask the machine. Maybe if you're smart enough, you could ask the machine. Oh, wrong button. That's fine. So it took 3 bales to get it all nice and squared away. So probably the one in the baler is the third. That one in the back there is the second. And I'll bring you back when we get to the first. Pardon the tractor growling up the hill, but there's the first one. He's just a little bit special. Still, we can pick it up. The 4x4 baler made way worse first bales. I'm kind of curious when, I probably can't see, so I can take my finger out from in front of it, when neighbor's gonna rake the, across the way, rake this morning. They came out about 4:30 and started raking. And I think that's put up by the same guy that puts this up, so it may just be a full day of raking for him. We'll see this afternoon if he gets that done or not. Maybe he feels it needs to dry more. Ours, the high spots are just powder dry, and the swales over there are too stinking green. But I feel like if I let it sit any longer, it's going to start rotting where the green was. So even after this sits and evens out up here, because there's still, well, you can see like the light green. Not that that necessarily means the hay was wet. Anyway, a lot of words to say as I was coming through here. The moisture meter that I now have on my baler, which is super awesome, was saying there was spots that were a little bit too wet. So we'll let it all dry out and get super dry, and hope for a wind-free morning in the morning to get some dew on it to get it to hold together nice. Otherwise, we can still put it up, but it just ends up being a little bit drier, soggier bales, either due to my lack of knowing how to make dry bales solid, or that's just the only way I've ever. So even with my grandpa, if it was super dry with 3 stringers, they're just not going to compress like a 10% or so moisture. 8, 9, 10. Under 5 is just powder. It's 3:30 again, maybe a little bit after. The GoPro doesn't seem to do well in the dark. Really clear, really pretty morning for what started out. But day after raking, a full day of nice warm weather. By the way, the pups are super excited when it's get up early day. Full day of really warm weather with a breeze, and the hay was incredibly dry last night. And I think I've said before how I hope for a little bit of dew this morning with no breeze. No such luck. I don't know if you can hear on the microphone, but the wind's blowing. So, the only options I know are baling it now, and it's going to be put up a little bit dry. The humidity's up, but yeah, the wind's keeping anything from sticking on the hay. Or wait till it's even drier and hope for dew some other day, but then you're postponing the inevitable of having to get it off the field anyway. And with my real job, some work there is picking up that I can't avoid, and a lot of words to say. I need to just get it done, and it will be put up to where there's no mold or any other potential, but it's just not as nice and tight of bales as I would like. So here at the tractor, I'm gonna get it fired up and warmed up. Since there's nothing you can see, I will mumble in and do that. Pretty sure I've said I put the same lights as on the little red tractor on this tractor, which in some way makes me sad that this didn't get bigger lights, but I did put bigger lights on the top. Anywho, it's really, really bright banner now. Not good for much, but anyway, it's daylight outside. So, and then a fun new discovery, or something, yesterday. Plug phone in, which is hard to do with one hand. One thing I was thinking is it'd sure be nice to have that where all the rest of my, oops, I guess you guys weren't looking, where all the rest of my stuff to look at is, versus I've been using forever this little pocket that I have no idea what it's supposed to be for, but it holds my phone really well. So that may be in the future, making some sort of contraption to hold that up there. But I'm gonna find a place to stick this. We'll go open up the field and get to work. I forgot a light. Yeah, you guys can't see a thing. I'll show you, just generally checking. Bale looks square as far as I can see. And there's my first bale from the tractor lights. Gotta make sure the baler is making baler sounds and nothing extra. And that guy looks fine. So I think generally speaking, baler's baling, so yes, I could have used my phone as a light, but you know, it's a moisture meter now, so I think I might stick this up here. You might hear me talk to myself a little bit here and there, but as a kid, I grew up in my room listening to my grandpa and uncle bale in the early mornings when I wasn't allowed to go out yet. I don't know if there's any other farm kids out there with my tractor grunting, as always. Make me happy. Means bales are getting made. We're registered a 6 on the meter instead of less than 5. Speaking of the beeping. So I'm pretty sure the high spots are plenty dry. We'll see. I'll probably make one pass through the swales and see the low spots in the field if it's it, and see what goes register on the moisture meter, and go from there. Brought my manual moisture meter with me, but I figured we were passing this and I'm getting a little bit hesitant to, oh, that stinks. Better go check and make sure. Well, pretty sure it's not tied. The reflectors don't show that it's not tied, but it's not even here, so, well, maybe it just popped a knot. Yeah, we'll check with the hand moisture meter, but I'm getting slugs of green stuff still, so probably gonna call it. So that guy, obviously, to actually see a slug, you'd have to be in the exact right spot, of which they usually show up pretty stinking apparent. Maybe this is just not one of the bales that had a slug in it. And that's a really, really nice firm bale. That's where I like to bale them, kind of between the 6 and 15-ish. There's a nice, wow, what's in there? It's not horrible. Try to stay out of these swales. And then the other interesting discovery is the heavy windrows. So the smoker puts 11 windrows per track. So then when you'd go to rig 2 together, strangely 11 is not divisible by 2. And we usually end up with 3 windrows in this last inside-most section of the tracks. So he was pretty sluggy the whole way around. That'll be interesting if that moisture meter on the baler is a little more, we're getting up there. A little more something than my hand one.
Good morning. So, as you already saw, Sam got up this morning about 3:30 and started baling. He had to stop because whatever was left was a little too wet to bale, so he might have to get up tomorrow at 3:30 and finish it. But I'm going to go out and try to at least stack what he's cut on top of each other, so make those little stacks of 2. So then either this afternoon or tomorrow we can bring the blue tractor and the semi or the pickup and start getting the hay off the field. So I have never been able to film the scooping up and stacking of the hay. So hopefully today I'll be able to figure out a way to do that. So stay tuned. Obviously, as we drive past this one, I am not super great at stacking them squarely, but I'll get better. And sometimes it takes me multiple tries to get everything lined up. So we're having a little bit of a hard time getting everything baled because there's just still too much moisture in the hay, in the alfalfa, and Sam's been getting up the last 2 mornings at 3:30 to go out and bale, and there's too much humidity, so it's just not drying, and there's just big wet chunks in the bales, and we don't want that because, like I said, it'll rot and mold and do all the things. That might be all the reach the loader has. That is crazy. I don't even know. I guess the big tractor could do 4 out in the field. I didn't realize it roached that high, reached that high, could reach that high. I don't know. There's some correct grammar in there somewhere. This is awesome. The other thing that's super awesome is being able to make a stack that's 6 high. So yeah, I know why. It's not, it's the step deck part of the trailer. It's already taller than everything else. So yeah, that's why that had a hard time reaching. It's like, how could it go 6 high from the ground? You know, me and the math. I haven't gotten his official opinion, but I'm guessing that he's probably pretty excited that we got the loader for all of this. It definitely seems like it's doing a better job than the tractor did. So. I have for sure, so we can all watch and discover together. Maybe has to take it off kind of at a weird angle and then set it down and get spurred up to it. So, like I said, I wish I was as skilled as he is driving machinery and picking up hay. Maybe after I've done it for, I don't know, however many years he's done it, I'll get the whole process figured out too. I do have to say, I was pretty excited that I was able to pick up a single bale in third gear on the fly. Like I didn't have to stop and adjust the forks to pick it up. I could just keep driving and pick it up while I was moving. That's a new accomplishment for me for this year. So got some new skills I'm working on this year, picking up single bales on the fly. Now I can not on the fly pick up double bales in the field and stack them on the trailer. So who knows what I'll be able to do by the end of the year or by next year. So it's definitely a learning process, not things that I thought I would be trying to learn at this point in my life, but I'm so excited that I'm able to, and so grateful for Sam and his patience and all the things. So we're grateful for you watching it all unfold. I could do a better job of stacking. He wouldn't have to do such a good job of squaring everything up. As we were driving around out there, though, it is funny because some of them are not even close to being square. Some of them I did a pretty good job with, though, so like I said, I'll keep working at it. I'll get better. But yeah, the ones that I missed by a long ways. So that's 2 truckloads and some single trips. It's a good start so far. So according to the monitor in the baler, we have 212 bales this cutting. So this is most of them, and these are the ones that we figure are dry and can stack for a while. These off to the right are the ones that are a little bit wet or have a little bit of a wet section in them. We moisture metered all of the bales, the second set of bales. The first set, according to the moisture meter while Sam was baling, were totally fine. The second set, there were parts that were too wet, so we waited to rebale those, or to bale those. And again, moisture metered everything, and those are a little bit wetter, or have a wet section in them. So as long as somebody feeds them quickly, it shouldn't be a problem. But if you try to store them for like the whole summer and feed in the winter, they might rot. But I don't think any of them are wet enough that it would start a fire or anything. So this is most of the 212. There are some down here that were just on the bottom part of the pivot. I think they're 16 down here. And then there were some that were on the top of the big pivot hill that we just tucked under the pivot and are kind of stacked on the hill up kind of over where the garden is. There's a fire up there and our neighbor's truck. So I don't know if it's an intentional fire or if it's getting bigger and potentially out of control. I can see him standing up there, but that seems big than something like a intentional, I'm just gonna burn off some weeds, but maybe I don't know anything about anything out here still, and that's just how you do things. So let's That's kind of cool. There's water between here and there, I'm pretty sure. So as long as it doesn't jump across that little divide and go into the other neighbor's yard, I think it'll be okay. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on that one. So anyway, ended up with 212 bales. Some of it was a little wetter than we wanted, but hopefully we can sell it to one of our customers who feeds pretty quickly, and it won't mold or rot on him. So we're just gonna keep an eye on this and stay tuned. But anyway, so as far as our first cutting, because the hay was, the alfalfa was taller and thicker and lodged and all those things that made it harder to cut. It took longer to dry. Had a little bit of rain, not big, just a little sprinkle, but then heavy dew. Just took it a lot longer to dry all the way, and there was just a lot more moisture than what we would normally want to bale, but we couldn't just leave it sitting there because then it starts to rot in the field. So learned some things we might do a little bit different for next year. Might cut a little bit sooner if possible with weather and all those things, but yeah, anyway, first cutting's done in the books, and yeah, hopefully it'll sell. We're pretty happy with the quality, and just got water started yesterday so we can get the alfalfa growing and ready for second cutting. So thanks for watching.